Scotland is one of Europe's very best shooting countries. Magnificent natural beauty, an ancient shooting tradition, and a friendly and hospitable people that greet foreign guests as if they were close relatives or best friends. Among hunters and shooters, Scotland is perhaps best known for its population of red deer and grouse. But Scotland has a wide variety of game that offers excellent sport in all types of terrain. Here there is a wide open skies and fresh air for the lungs, and plenty of action in store for the shooting party which we're going to follow in this film from the Scottish Highlands. Lerny House is a beautiful old hunting castle situated in a 3,000-hectare estate in the middle of the famous Royal Deeside region. Built in 1747 as a traditional Scottish manor house, Lerny House now serves as headquarters for the organizer of the coming week's shooting activities, Scott Sports. Lerny House will be home to the shooting party during the coming week. The shooters are greeted by the tour organizer Alf Sørensen from Scott Sport and his assistant Jesper Bra.
Jesper han vil nu vise jer indkvartering langs værelser, og efter cirka en halv times tid foreslår jeg, at vi mødes nede i The Drawing Room for et nærmere orienteringsmøde om ugens forløb.
Så har vi Glenmorangie Room til jer herinde.
Ser fornemt ud.
Vi har 2 senge, frit valg.
Lækkert. Det finder vi ud af.
Glenfiddich Room her. Ja. Og så har vi herovre bad og toilet. Så der kan I komme til rette i løbet af ugen, ja. Tak.
Og jeg synes lige, vi skal skåle på at få nogle gode jagtdage sammen. Skål. Det er jo sådan, at vi skal på et kombinationsarrangement med henholdsvis riffel og haglbøs. Så er det jo den jagtform, der hedder rough shooting, som er en blandet småvildsjagt, går sammen med skytterne på linje. Skytterne arbejder deres hunde og flosher vildtet op. Rough shooting er en fantastisk spændende jagtform, for man ved ikke, hvad der kommer, om det er en kanin, eller det er en snæb, eller det er en fasan. Så er der altså de her små springer spaniels, som der er med i spillet også, og der skal man passe noget på skuddene, og ikke mindst hele tiden være sikker på, hvor ens nabo er henne. Og så skal vi så med riffeljagt på hunddyr, primært hind og kalv, og så skal vi så tilbage til haglbøssejagt på de små uldtotter, kaninerne, altså hvor vi bruger fritter og står og venter i lighed med rævejagt. Jeg så blot sige, at jeg håber, I alle sammen må få nogle gode dage her i Skotland og nyde landet, vores natur og få nogle gode jagtoplevelser.
After settling in and a good night's sleep, the shooters wake up to a superb autumn weather. The shooting today will be at the beautiful Dinnet Estate, an ancient Scottish estate with many shooting and hunting traditions. Safely arrived, the shooting party is greeted by the head keeper, Alex Penman, and his 2 assistants.
Today, you'll be assisted by myself. I'm Alex Penman. Our assistant other staff members, Bobby Holland and Ted Geddes. These boys will be helping ourselves with the day. They'll carry any game that you should shoot through the day. The estate here is approximately 25,000 acres. What we have approximately 15,000 acres of upland, where we'll be going to this morning, and in the low ground here we've about 10,000 acres. When you're walking, I'd appreciate if you could make every effort to collect your spent cartridges, and if you pass them to myself, or either Bobby or Ted would be happy to take them from you. Okay? The species to be shot today will be shooting pheasant, cock pheasant only. No hen pheasant, just cock pheasant. Partridge, rabbit, hare, pigeon, duck, snipe, woodcock. What we won't be shooting is any black grouse or red grouse. Okay? Brown hares, I know some people are a bit nervous and sensitive of shooting brown hares. We shoot brown hares here because we have quite a good number of them. But the choice is up to yourself anyway. The safety aspect, when we're walking, if it's important everybody walks in a nice straight line, because it then gives the possibility for people to lift their gun and turn and shoot behind should any game rise and go behind. So that's why the emphasis is always, strict, a straight line where possible. If you'll always be aware of where your fellow guns are and also where the working dogs are as well. If rabbits are running, be sure that there's no dogs in the gun line either. Okay, because we don't want any accidents. Should a fox get up in front, we'll give Bobby a row, but should a fox get up in front, we would appreciate if you were to shoot it, but same again, if you're not happy to shoot, well, respect your wishes also. I think that's about it, gentlemen. I hope you enjoy your day with us here at Dinnet Estate. If anybody's got any questions, if I've missed something, please feel free to speak up and ask them now.
Thank you.
It's a fine October morning. Perfect weather for a rough shooting day. All small game species may be shot, except grouse. The shooters are anxious to get going. It's important to fill the pockets with cartridges. They'll be needed during the day. Swedish Dan Persson is ready. And Danish Torben Kindler is ready. It's important to be alert. You never know when a chance may arise or from which direction. It's important all the time to be aware of the other shooter's location and the dogs. In rough shooting, the shooters rarely get to work for their quarry. On the other hand, there are many fine shooting situations and lots of action. Everybody gets a chance to test his shooting skills. The first rabbit of the day. They're fast little fellows, so the shooters need to be alert all the time. The dogs are eager. They're competing for the first fetching assignment of the day.
Det er vilde fugle her, ikke? Pragtfuldt område for rough shooting.
Fantastic.
It's important to select the right shooting distances, all the time with maximum attention to safety. A miss, which Torben follows up on with a perfect shot at a cock pheasant. Dan delivers a fine shot at a fast flyer.
Det var okej att skjuta då, va?
Ja, det flyver for tæt.
But what sort of bird was it that Dan shot?
Perfekt.
Vad är det för en?
Det er en spansk stenhøne.
Men det är okej att skjuta då?
Ja.
Ja, jag blev lite osäker.
Ja, de er sat ud her.
Ja. Förlåt Sten, det är en spansk stenhöna jag har skjutit.
There's constant action. All the shooters get plenty of chances, and most of them are taken advantage of. Everybody gives a helping hand in retrieving shot game.
Vi må løfte planten op, Dan.
Det var din sen förra drevet.
Det er den, jeg også.
Ja, nå.
Jeg synes, den er ret.
Ja.
Det var den sgu da. Det var godt, den. Ja. Jeg skal gøre dig en tjeneste den anden gang.
Everybody is in high spirits, and there's friendly teasing across the line of shooters. There are just rabbits everywhere, and the shooters must be ready for fast shots all the time. The dense gorse bushes offers excellent coverage for the rabbits, especially against birds of prey, the rabbit's biggest enemy. But the dogs know how to find them. It's important to move forward on a straight line, partly for safety reasons, but also to put maximum pressure on the game.
Yeah, 15 meters.
Kanin.
Oh yes, it is easier to miss.
Det kalder helvede til. Nej. Utroligt med vilt här är. Tjo.
Wonderful autumn weather, beautiful landscape, and plenty of game. Add to that the excellent work of the dogs and the skills of the keepers. A day of shooting doesn't get much better than this.
Landskab, som selvfølgelig kun findes her, det er måske den største del af rejsen herover, det er at opleve den anden natur, den anden tradition, jagttradition, måden at drive det på. Det findes kun her.
Som du kan høre, så skyder de godt deroppe.
Ja, det kan ikke se, hvad de laver, men
Nej.
Vi hører nok om det lige om lidt.
Der er kommet en del af høns her. Kunne vi få nogen til at svinge over her?
Ja, det så ikke ud, om de gik over dalen, og det så ud, om de smed sig frem.
Ja, lige præcis. De har smidt sig længere fra,
ja.
Så måske kommer vi til dem igen.
Ja.
Det er spændende at se, hvad de har nedlagt deroppe. Der har været en del skydning.
Det har der.
The shooting is organized in such a way that the team beats through one section of land before moving on to the next. The terrain is constantly changing. This time they're going to beat through a large heather-covered hillside. It's tough to walk through the heather. The shooters are certainly getting some exercise. Pheasants are found free living in good numbers in this region, but the estate also puts out reared birds for driven shoots. The dogs love this kind of work, and they're good at it. Dan is getting a pheasant with a straight-ahead shot. And then, right after, a fine cock to the side. This is rough shooting at its best.
Go! Vackert Dennis!
Hey, we should have just picked it when we walked forward. We need to keep a good line.
Alex needs to stress that it's very important to keep a straight line. Never compromise on safety.
Okay, just hold it there. Hey lads, we'll come into line. Bring the boys into line, please.
Alex is getting ready to round up the first drive by getting everybody on a line. In between the drives, the shooters eagerly discuss the events of their morning. A nice display. Even so, the adventure has only just begun.
Guns are up the end there.
Up the end?
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
So I'm allowed to shoot back?
Yes.
Yes, okay, good.
You're okay to shoot forward for... I'll give you a shout.
Okay, the first couple of 100 meters, yeah, okay.
You should go with Bobby.
Okay, I will.
A new drive is ready to begin. It's important that the shooters keep track of in which directions they can safely shoot all the time. Especially in hilly terrain like this, things can easily go wrong if everybody is not constantly aware of the other shooter's positions. When climbing over a fence, the gun must be open and empty.
A lot of rabbit. I can't shoot for again.
Yes, you're okay to shoot rabbits and
Okay.
anything up high.
Okay. Oh, took a rabbit.
Hi, go on.
Torben is a seasoned shooter who never takes any risky chances. It's better to ask one time too many. Torben is shooting really well today, as are all the others in the party. An exciting morning has come to an end. It's time to unload. The shooters head for one of Dinnet Estate's shooting lodges. A hearty lunch is well earned now. It's a true sportsman's lunch, sandwiches and spring water. It is obvious that the energy resources have been exhausted. It's time to recharge the batteries before the activities of the afternoon. Soon they're on their way again. It's time for new challenges. The rest of the day they will be shooting on the lower grounds with semi-open woodland. In Scotland, as the rest of the world, the mobile telephone has become an indispensable aid for the shoot captain. The woodland offers some different challenges to the shooters. Here you must be ready to act very quickly. A stoat or ermine moves quickly through the forest floor. It is, of course, protected. Oh yes, Peter, never turn your back against the action. It was a nice cock pheasant. Luckily, the other shooters are both willing and able if you're unable to finish the job yourself. The beaters wave a white flag from time to time. That helps putting pressure on the game so that it rises to the guns. This time there's a flock of mallards that take to the sky.
was a pheasant that went down on the other side of the fence.
Soon the shot game is collected.
Ja. Den kom hoppende, den var ikke anden 2 meter fra mig. Den hoppede helt ind i munden, så tog den lige sådan en bue udenom, og så her han er.
Okay. Det var det, jeg sagde, der kommer en, der var en til på vej op til dem.
Ja. Men det var langt, det var lige med at stille på den.
Okay. Nå, men der kom en sen. Kom der ikke en senere?
Men det så jeg ikke.
Ja.
Så er den også fået en.
Ja, okay. Jeg fik en.
Franz Marsha, or Rumble as his friends call him, is proud of his hair. The Scottish landscape offers some greatly diverse biotopes, each time with new challenges for the shooters.
Nu ska vi trampa hare. Vi går fältet ner här och så vänder vi så går den andra delen upp. Så det blir ett markdrev. En stubbåker. Vi hoppas jag får skjuta en hare här. Eller 2.
Okay then, let me go please.
Pheasants are obviously also available here. Everybody thought that this was purely a hare drive. As long as the shooters remain on a straight line, there's no problem in turning around to fire a shot at game escaping to the rear, as Dan now demonstrates. Yes, sure, it is a nice big hare, but 2 or even 3 dogs to retrieve it is perhaps a little bit too much. The day is slowly waning, but there's still plenty of action with hares and pheasants in good numbers. The dogs are slowly becoming tired. Perhaps that's the reason for this momentary lapse of concentration with a wounded pheasant. Oh well, Labrador quickly makes amends. A superb day is coming to an end. It's very respectable display after an afternoon with many different species of game and plenty of chances for everybody. It is time for new shooting challenges. The weather has become a little rougher, but it's still excellent weather for shooting. Rumble starts out with a fine shot at a cock pheasant. This is an excellent landscape for shooting, with a semi-open broom scrub. The shrubbery provides perfect cover for the game. This is real pheasant country. Here's a slow-motion sequence of a fine cock pheasant shot by Torben. The shooters are back in the semi-open woodland. What has it got to offer today? To the Swedes, this would be a much-coveted forest hare, but it is a Dane who gets it. Retrieving is handled by some very efficient spaniels. The keepers are going to get more than their hands full of shot game before the day is over.
That was the road here.
Shit!
What? No.
They're too big to put in the bag.
Yeah, they are.
There are just rabbits everywhere in this type of terrain.
Thank you.
Here's one.
Hi.
Yet another hare. And another fast shot at a handsome cock pheasant from Rumble.
Hey! Hey!
They both want to retrieve it. Good girl. No, it's a it's a male. Good dog anyway. I could have shot a roebuck right now. First came a female and then the buck come just after.
Rumble's fingers were itching to get a shot off at the roe deer, but it is not legal to shoot roe deer with shotguns in Scotland, even though many forest owners regard the deer as vermin. Another fine day has come to an end. The game is being laid out for display.
Gentlemen, I'd just like to say thank you for your company in today's shooting. I hope you've enjoyed yourself as much as we've enjoyed having you here at Dinnet Estate. I shall now give you the bag. We have a final count for our day, and the bag is as follows. We had 1 woodcock, 5 red-leg partridges, 1 wood pigeon, 6 mallard, 2 widgeon, 24 pheasants, 5 brown hares and 20 rabbits, giving a total of 68 head for the day, and I think you shot very well. We hope you'll come back again, and it's been a pleasure having you. Thank you.
Another fine day has come to an end. The game is being laid out for display. Today the shooters will be testing their skills at quite a different form of sport. This requires fast action and precise shooting. Ferrets are bred in captivity. The animals are often albinos, but their color may vary from pure white to jet black. Hunting with ferrets is practiced across Europe, wherever rabbits are considered a pest. It's also a sport that offers a lot of entertainment for the hunters. The open fields are dotted with rabbit holes. There are quite simply rabbits wherever you look. As soon as the ferret has been put down into a hole where the rabbits are, the tenants bolt to get away from the aggressive ferret. Then it's up to the shooters to be alert. The rabbits come shooting out of the holes like small rockets, and they quickly seek cover in another hole. There's constant activity, and the shooters must be really quick on the trigger. The dogs love to retrieve rabbits in the open landscape. They're just having as much fun as the shooters. The ferrets move from hole to hole, and the shooters are having a great time in this very special landscape. The rabbits run in a zigzag when they try to escape. This makes it even more difficult for the shooters to hit them. So during the day, there are quite a few misses across the lineup. From time to time, the ferrets come up to check on the whereabouts of the shooters. Normally, they go straight back down into holes where they can smell a rabbit. When the ferret handler wants to move the action to a different part of the field, he seeks contact with the ferret at the rabbit hole. He moves his hand back and forth in front of the ferret's nose so that the animal recognizes his scent before he picks it up. Otherwise, it may bite him. The action continues throughout the day, and the shooters really get to practice fast shooting. Once again, the weather has behaved very nicely. It has truly been a fine day for everybody involved. Another excellent shooting day with lots of memories for the shooting diary. Many fine shots at the lightning-fast rabbits with many fine hits and excellent work by the dogs. Does it get much better? Accompanied by Chris, one of the professional stalkers, Torben is given the opportunity to try his skills at stalking rabbits with a .22 caliber rifle. This is difficult from testing form of sport, which really puts the stalker's skills to the test. Early morning and late afternoon, the rabbits can often be seen sitting on the ground beside their holes, absorbing the warm rays of the sun. Sometimes the heat makes them slightly drowsy and their alertness is weakened. This gives the stalker the possibility to get within shooting range. The small furry fellows are not as easy to hit as it may look.
Okay. That's more like it.
The Scottish keepers often use the .22 caliber rifle when they're regulating the rabbit population. This method creates a minimum of disturbance among the animals, and the noise is kept to a minimum. In some areas, the rabbits are so numerous that it's necessary to regulate them all year round.
But it's great fun shooting rabbits with the 22. So you go shooting every week?
Well, this is my job. I do this every day. I'm quite lucky in that way. So.
Yeah, what a job.
That is stopping the deal, you know.
After a day's hard work, it's time to socialize in the local pub called Grouse Inn. It offers a selection of no fewer than 300 different Scottish malt whiskies.
Ja, vi ska ta en runda här ute på gräset. En sväng över och så tillbaka hit igen. Här kan vara allt ifrån grouse, kanin, hare. Har vi lite tur där någon fasan oss in emellan, kanske en snäppe. Det ska bli lite småspännande. Komma ut i friska luften igen.
We are now on the Glenfiddich estate for some rough shooting, or walk-up, as this form of sport is also known. And very aptly so. You really get to use your legs. The shooters have been permitted to shoot up to 2 grouse each, if they get the chance. The grouse is generally regarded as the king of Scottish small game, so everybody is more than ready on this cool morning. The first quarry of the day, though, is a rabbit, which Dan delivers in a perfect shot.
Tack Peter!
Tack!
Again today, there are plenty of action right across the line of shooters. Everybody gets their chance. Swedish Peter Sokovi gets a couple of really good rabbits. It's mid-morning now, and the sun is really beginning to warm.
Ja, jag var tvungen att lägga jackan. Riktigt rolig jakt, men det är tufft. Jag frös i morse, men det gör jag inte nu, det kan jag säga. Jag måste ha bensin nu. Jag har haft maginfluensa i 2 dagar, men detta vill jag absolut inte missa. Jag är helt slut. Jag skulle kunna lägga mig här och sova, men det finns inte en chans. Och det finns ju inget roligare än detta.
It's very hilly terrain and quite tough walking. It puts great demands on the shooter's clothing. The clothes must protect the shooters from the near freezing temperature in the early morning hours, but still be comfortable to wear now that the sun has provided almost summerly warmth. It's important that the clothes are made of materials that can transport the sweat away from the body, with plenty of ventilation so that the body feels comfortable and dry all the time. It really is tough walking. Time for a well-earned breather.
Vad har du fått skjuta, Peter? Hur mycket?
4 har jag fått.
Där var det ingen bom någonstans in emellan, eller?
Någon har väl där, om man ska vara ärlig. Själv då?
Ja, nej, det är samma här. 9 har jag skjutit hittills och så är väl en 3 bom någonstans.
Ja, men det är bra. Det är bra. Ja, det är spännande.
The dogs chase a covey of grouse away, where they were hiding in the heather. That gets the shooter's attention up a degree or two. Finally, Dan delivers the first grouse of the day. The red grouse primarily feed on the buds of 1-year-old heather plants. They're extremely fast flyers, which really puts a shooter's skills to the test. This is one of the reasons why grouse are widely regarded as the finest piece of game available to the shotgun shooter in Scotland. Shortly after, Peter gets the chance. His expression indicates that he missed the bird.
Grouse. Fantastiskt fint. Jag tar min andra pipa, den är trång för det blir rätt så styvt håll.
The shooters continue across the heather-covered face of the hill. The dogs are working hard. This is typical grouse country, but there are rabbits everywhere. Yet another covey of grouse take to the wings, unfortunately way out of range.
Back off, Hans!
It is important to keep a straight line all the time. That makes it possible for a shooter to back up his neighbor if he misses his shots. The hares that the party are shooting here are blue hares. They're slightly smaller than the ordinary gray hare, which is normally found on lower grounds. Blue hares are often called snow hares because of their fur turning a grayish-white in the winter. But true snow hares, like the ones found in Arctic areas, they are not. It's important all the time to be alert. As always, many of the rabbits try to escape through the back door. It's another lovely day in the beautiful Scottish landscape. Once again, the weather is showing its most friendly face with almost spring-like temperatures and a blazing sun. It's a good idea to fill the pockets with cartridges. The shooters are going to fire a lot of shots during the day. The spent cartridges must go back into the pockets. It's obvious that both shooters and dogs are enjoying the day to the fullest. Every tussock is being checked over. This is where the game is often hiding. the afternoon shadows are slowly getting longer, but there's still plenty of action along the line of shooters. It's easy to understand why foreign sportsmen have taken to this exciting and entertaining form of sport. In rough shooting, one can really get one's money's worth at a very reasonable price. There are plenty of shooting chances for everybody, and one gets to work hard for it. The shoots are usually very well organized with excellent dogs in a beautiful and varied terrain. What more can anyone ask for?
Ja, det är helt fantastiskt det här walking up på kaniner. Det är alla ställen, det finns liksom inte någonting som är bättre än det andra. De ligger precis överallt. Och in emellan som det nu här kommer en enkelbeckasin. Och där har skjutit någon hare, en snöhare också. Och någon grouse kan flyga upp. Det kan helt enkelt inte bli bättre. Och det händer något hela tiden. Det är 8 bössor som går här, det smäller nästan non-stop i någon bössa. Fantastiskt.
The head keeper, Stanley Gordon, is quite pleased with the performance of the Danish-Swedish team of shooters. The spirit is high, and everybody has some exciting stories to tell. After a well-earned break with lots of shooting talk, the group is ready for some new action with the rabbits. This was almost a good chance, but Rumble wisely declines as one of the dogs got in too close. It's important to keep a straight line. Safety comes first. It's not every day that the rabbits are as cooperative as today. The weather naturally plays an important role in the success of a shooting day. It is also very important that the shooters do their homework with lots of practicing on the target range in order to make it a successful day.
Det var bra. Ja. Jeg skulle ikke have været ret meget længere. Det er lige meget, at man går på højre eller venstre. De farer ud af til arme alle sammen.
Scotland is without doubt one of the best countries in Europe for hunting and shooting. Scotland is truly paradise for any hunter. No, it's not a good idea to play around with Torben. He's shooting extremely well today. This is a situation where things may go wrong if you're not careful. But Torben keeps his calm and lets the chance pass to Dan. Only when the rabbit is out a good distance, Torben raises his gun. Rumble is not lying low either. He too is really shooting well.
Yeah, he got it.
Shit, leave it! Up! Leave it!
The dog is very close.
Up! Behind!
Vi har jo lavet det her walk-up, og det er faktisk rigtig sjovt. Og kaninerne de kommer, pludselig kommer de bagud, og så kommer de ud foran, og vi skal også passe på både mennesker og hunde, så det er lidt af en opgave. Men det er sjovt. Det virker. Jamen, jeg har skudt 3 nu her, gode nogen. De 2 var rigtig gode. Så det kan ikke være bedre.
After a perfect shot, the last rabbit of the day is being retrieved.
Ja, så er dagen slut her på Glenfiddich Estate, og jeg vil gerne sige tak for rigtig god, sikker skydning, og tak til keeperne på Glenfiddich for veludført arbejde, så håber de har nyt dagen her i samarbejde med Skotsport og Glenfiddich Estate. Så tak for i dag. Thank you for a very good day.
It's time for the grand dinner at Lerny House. The cooks Dennis and Kenneth have prepared a luxurious dinner based on a variety of the game that has been shot during the week. The dinner is accompanied by exquisite wines. There's plenty to talk about: the shooting and Lerny House and its fascinating history. It's possible to lodge at Lerny House in 2 different ways, either on full board as in a luxury hotel or on a self-catering basis at a more modest price.
Tak for godt selskab. Håber I nød opholdet og jagten, ikke mindst.
The cooks have prepared a small surprise for Peter, who missed an easy chance on a woodcock.
Peter, jeg har den tvivlsomme ære som næstformand i Sneppe for Biskydningsklubben og overrække en speciel ret til præsidenten. Og det må jo være dig. Grunden til det er, at vi er nogle stykker. Jeg skal ikke gøre mig selv for god, som betvivler, om du nogensinde kommer til at skyde en snep selv. Så Dan, han har været så elskværdig og doneret hans sneppe til dig. Så værsgo.
Tak skal du have.
Skal vi skåle? Skål for the woodcock man.
Det prøver jeg også i morgen.
Ja. Skål. Det ser bare lækkert ud.
Full after a magnificent dinner, the group prepares for a day of stalking as a conclusion of the week. They're going to try for red deer hinds and roe deer at the Glenfiddich estate. First, the rifles must be sighted in.
Once more.
Okay.
The weather has taken a drastic turn. It has snowed during the night and it's freezing cold. The professional stalker has spotted a small group of red deer hinds and the stalkers try to get into position for a shot. The visiting stalkers share one professional guide. They have agreed to shoot in turn. Dan is to have a go first.
As soon as they have the head in front, I shoot. Sorry? Can you see them? I can see. Yeah, can you see them? To shoot? Yeah. Now block.
The slow motion shows that it was a perfect shot from Dan. A grouse is startled and takes flight with its characteristic warning gaggle. A fine start of the day, and Stanley, the professional stalker, is pleased. After gralloching the hind, the stalkers go looking for some more animals. Stalking red deer in the highland is no easy task. The stalkers must really be fit. Every year, a total of some 60 to 80 red deer stags and some 250 to 300 hinds and calves are shot on the Glenfiddich estate. This makes it one of the biggest red deer estates in Scotland. It is difficult to get in close when approaching a big herd like this. There are many watchful eyes. The stalkers must try somewhere else. There's a smaller herd, and none of the animals have spotted the stalkers. It requires a lot of low creeping when stalking red deer in the highland. The animals are extremely cautious. A small roebuck moves out in between the stalkers and the red deer. It's far from ideal. Fortunately, the roebuck moves away. Now it's time for the stalkers to get into position.
Which one? There's quite a big herd, but we take the one on the extreme left. Extreme left, yes. Behind his back. Yeah, that's it. It's okay? Clear now, yeah. Yeah? Okay, I'll try.
Another perfect shot from Dan's Blazer rifle in 300 Winchester short Magnum caliber. The stalker has spotted a single roe deer female. It obviously hasn't been disturbed by the rifle shot, so Peter quickly gets ready. A perfect neck shot.
Thank you, thank you. Thank you. Good shooting anyway. Thank you.
But what's that?
Trevligt.
Dan's Zeiscope has given him a so-called Weatherby eye. Oh yes, who says it isn't dangerous to go hunting? Stanley, Dan, and Peter approach the doe that Peter shot in the neck at 70 meters distance. This is teamwork, as Dan and Peter had arranged. After Dan had fired, Peter was supposed to be ready for his turn if a chance materialized. The hind that Dan shot was nearly 200 meters away. When stalking red deer in the highlands, that sort of distance is not unusual at all. The result of a fine morning's shooting. The hunters are happy. A fine conclusion to an exciting day in the highlands with a rifle. It has been a week packed with exciting shooting action. A week with some excellent autumn weather, plenty of game on all the different locations, and some fine companionship. Many thanks to Dinnet and Glenfiddich Estates for their great hospitality and their excellent organization of the shoots. Truly a week that everyone will look back at with considerable pleasure. Special thanks to Scott Sports for organizing the trip. Happy hunting!